Do not disturb. Put your phone on do not disturb, little bitch. Little bitch boy. I see you every week getting distracted on your phone.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Every week I see you checking your phone.
Oh, get the fuck out
I
of
see
here.
you checking your phone. You're like, Aidan's not saying anything interesting. I'll
stop it.
I'll just have
my
a
phone's
scroll
literally
down.
like 90% of the time in my pocket.
Breaking news this week.
Is there?
Breaking news. Matt
there?
Smith loves a beer.
He does.
Is
a
what
pint
you
or
sent
two.
me just before we did the show. He loves a pint.
Yeah, he did a. I can't really remember what magazine it was now, but he did an interview down the pub.
I feel like if I was a respected journalist, that's what I would do. I'd be like, you wanna go
Open
down
up
to
a
the
little
pub
bit.
and have a chat?
Well, I think it was his idea. I think they were just like walking, and he was like, I know a good place down the road. Mm-hmm. And he had a pint, and then he went for a second one, the cheeky bugger.
Cheeky bugger, went back for more.
He went back for more.
He's just like us, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's just like us.
These Hollywood actors, they're just like us, going down the pub and... Nah, to be honest, he just sounds like a swell dude. Yeah, Morbin. He mentioned that, and he said, like, doing the films like rolling the dice, sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss. Mm-hmm. And he was referring that... He referred to Morbius as a miss, and also that fucking Terminator Genesis movie as a miss.
Yeah, right.
Because he was in that.
He was meant to end up being like the big.
He was meant to be the big,
well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was meant to be a
whack.
trilogy, and then they never went anywhere with it after that monstrosity. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, Connor, why don't you, whilst I make us look a little bit brighter on the camera, why don't you tell us what are we doing this week?
We are back reviewing Torchwood. We did season 1 a while ago, actually. Probably in like March, April we did it. So it's good to be back. I know you started a while ago. I started on Saturday, so I finished 13 episodes in like under a week.
Yeah, I did.
Fuck, that was...
I watched episode 1, I want to say like 3 weeks ago. And then I didn't watch any until about a week and a half ago. I did 12 in about a week and a half. Which
it got to a point on Saturday. I'm like, I need to start it now.
Yeah,
because
you
I'm gonna be fucked.
When you messaged me and you were like, "Can we not do it this week? I haven't started it." My mindset was, "Motherfucker, you've known we're doing this for a month."
I said maybe we should do a classic this week. That way, no, because you said I'm rushing too, and I'm like, okay, maybe we should just stop giving ourselves a fucking.
Okay.
It got to a point where I'm like, I have to watch 3 episodes a day, otherwise I'll be done
horrible.
for. So yeah, I literally had to. I think it was on Monday onwards, I had to watch 3 episodes a day. One of the days was only 2, and then the rest was like, I think I watched 3 episodes 3 days in a row.
Yeah, wow.
So it was pretty intense.
A few like late at night when I really didn't want to, and I was like,
same.
fuck, I gotta keep my eyes open and watch it like half an hour of this at least. And then like, but yeah, and like some of them, well, there's only one episode I did where I was like, I really need to do some work, but I need to get an episode done. So I like did some basic work that I could do whilst I was like looking up at the episode, which I never do. Like I know a lot of people can do work and watch. I can't do that shit. Like I have to be one of the
But I
other.
was kind of like in that situation too. We're just like doing the clips and stuff. It was either it doesn't get done or like even at work yesterday when I was like sweeping up, I had it playing like on a table. It got that bad. I had to, otherwise I just wouldn't have. I literally in every one of my lunch breaks I was watching it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't not. I swear on my life, I couldn't not. I wanted to watch fucking YouTube. I wanted to listen to a podcast. No, I was watching Torchwood on my fucking on my lunch break. It was like I just couldn't escape the fucking thing.
Yeah,
it just was always there.
It was everywhere.
It sucks because I really feel like I could have like enjoyed watching it if I actually gave myself time, but I never do. I want to when Sarah Jane Adventures comes up for us reviewing, which I'm really looking forward to. I will give myself some time.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah, I'm keen to do that.
Never learn though, so probably not.
No. How have you been the last like 2 weeks? Because it's been like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah,
since we recorded
good.
Last because scheduling.
I finished my second last unit at TAFE, and then I'm fully done.
Cheers to that.
Thank you.
That was a.
And then I'm
a
fully qualified man. Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, I had like a massive anxiety attack because I didn't listen to our episode with Josh on it until Monday, until I had to start doing the clips, because I was just so nervous that like we fucked it. I was so nervous that we messed it up.
Sure.
And then when I listened to it, it was really good. But I was so nervous that we messed it up.
I came out of it because I know at the start, I don't know, just because we'd never really had, we've had some like of our mates guests on it and stuff before.
Yeah.
And yeah, Josh just being an established figure to an extent, it was just like, there was some nerves there. And so the whole time through, I was like, fuck, I fucked it being so nervous at the start. And then when I was editing it, I was like, yeah, the first 10 minutes are a bit rough. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think Josh was a very amazing guest and kind of held us together, to be honest.
I thought Josh was great. It was just more that I think we were understandably nervous. And then because you had this shoot on the weekend, Aidan edited the podcast and he put it up like days before it went out. And I could watch it because obviously I'm logged into the YouTube channel and it was scheduled to go out at like 3 p.m. Perth time on Monday. I didn't touch that shit all week. So I was like, I was pretty convinced that like, I was like, I didn't like, when I didn't watch it, I was like, I didn't like the way I was. And then when I finally manned up and actually watched it, because I had to do it for the clips.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what I worried about. I was really happy with how it went. I think it was a really good show. And I think also we were nervous because we knew that more people than usual would be watching it, and especially people who hadn't seen the show before would be watching it. So
yeah,
it was quite scary.
If any of you are joining us for the second time, and the first time of just us two lads,
yes,
welcome. We chat shit. And,
thank you for being here.
We try. Yeah, well done.
yeah, literally. No, it's so lovely
I'm sorry.
It's so lovely that Josh did such a huge service of sharing it literally every place possible, and
it was very nice of them.
I messaged her. I was just like, again, thank you so much. Like, it's just so sweet, and we really appreciate it, and it's really helped us. And so yeah, thank you to the
welcome
all our lovely followers.
Welcome
aboard the TARDIS.
Aboard.
Yeah, aboard the TARDIS.
I remember one of my mates.
Made fun of you because you said that.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, how's the podcast going?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's good." And it was like back when I don't know, I was like kind of ashamed, and I was like, "I got a Doctor Who podcast," and it was like
wow.
not this version though. This was like the 2017 when we did 7 episodes and we were like 10 years old. Like,
I'm still ashamed now.
And yeah, one of my mates like listened, and like I started it with like, "Welcome aboard the TARDIS," and I just got the piss taken out of me completely.
Hey, it's
valid.
It's great.
Valid.
We grow on this show,
Yeah, I had a lovely shoot from Saturday to Monday, which was good on a Christmas movie, which was great. I got to be AD, so assistant director, in charge of a lot of scheduling.
Make sure everyone's doing their job.
Kind of running the set, I guess, which is it's stressful, and we did 15-hour days most days, and so it was I think today was the first day I kind of recovered from it because I went straight back to work afterwards, and
yeah, right.
But funny story was so everything was going well. We were like going roughly on time the whole shoot, like give or take a bit, and then the last day we were so on time, more on time than we'd ever been. And Perth's weather, it's been crazy. It's been fucking cold.
Very Christmassy,
mate. 4 shots left, power cut.
No.
And I'm like running down the street, like asking the neighbors and stuff, and I'm like, "Do you guys have any power?" And they're like, "No, we're fucked." And I'm like, "Fuck!"
No.
So we faked it with like, there's like apertures or like bulb lights which are battery powered. They're like the kind of thing you use. In movies you see like there's a lamp on in the background and stuff like that. And normal lamp bulbs aren't bright enough to actually emit the amount of light that you want on screen. So you have like replacement bulbs that you put in,
right?
And we just like faked it for them last few shots. Luckily, we'd done all of our masters, all of our wide shots and stuff. It was just like extreme close-ups of some objects and of some characters where I think we went a little bit closer than we'd been intending to, just because we had to really makeshift a lighting setup to do them.
No, fair enough.
And it was a bit spooky because the whole set was just like. It was like 4 p.m. on a stormy day, so it was like dark inside, and we've got like cables and C-stands and everything running everywhere.
Yeah, shit.
And our lead actor was a very talented 7-year-old girl who'd never been on a film set before. So I'm like, part of being an AD is safety as well, and so I'm like stressing my ass off, like, no, don't fucking run around.
Wow, wait. Oh my god. Wow.
But other than that, it went off without a
obstacles are opportunities,
That's it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. We call these things memories, right?
Yeah, memories.
Memories.
You also had your 5-year anniversary, which is a great milestone.
I did with my lovely girlfriend Nicole, which I was on set for during our anniversary, which was a great conversation to have a couple months back. But she's great, and she's so chill about that kind of thing. And
we had dinner, didn't you?
This weekend coming, we are staying in a hotel in the city, and we'll go out to dinner and
snap.
that.
So am I.
Oh, slay, sister.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finally get that double date we've been talking about.
There you go. I'll cross Aidan in the street like, fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Yeah, it'll be lovely.
I love it.
What are you up to in the city?
We are doing a escape room. This is for our anniversary. Our anniversary, because like when our first year anniversary came up. Yeah, we had COVID though, so we couldn't do anything.
Sorry, I don't know why I laughed.
That's right. It was pretty funny. It's a good memory to tell people.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, we're gonna like do our like anniversary fucking special almost like I'm Chris Chibnall right now.
The anniversary episode.
Doing the 100th.
That's right.
Centenary special. Doing
That's
an escape room. Looking forward to it.
Well, one of the perks of us having a Torchwood themed episode today is we get to hear the best rendition of our theme song ever to exist.
I do love it.
Welcome aboard to the 50% Doctor Who podcast, folks.
50 50 50 50 50 50 50 50 50
I do love that.
It doesn't get old.
It never will.
The normal one does get old. This one, never.
According to our lovely audience, it doesn't.
It never
Keep
will.
it forever. Keep it going.
That's right. Put it on the vinyl, they say.
Yes, that can be one of the final tracks. Unfortunately, you only ever hear that twice more when we do season 3 and 4. So enjoy it. Enjoy this limited edition song.
Yeah. Well, you will hear it twice in this week.
Do you play it in the second part? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we got we'll be releasing this in a 2-part special. Much as the Top Gear Christmas specials, they would be in 2 parts.
Right.
That's what we're doing here today. And yeah, we're going to be talking about
12.
Doctor Who series 2, briefly breaking down each episode's our thoughts, feelings, and giving an overall score at the end, a combination of all 13 scores, if you will. Yeah, we do. I think we'd be remiss of us not to say, though, at the start of today's show, even though it's like a week and a half since it's happened, there's 3 bits of very sad news that I think would just be worth addressing.
Yes.
Which, there's a bit of a delayed announcement on the pod for it, but so the first thing is obviously, as everyone knows, Bernard Cribbins as Wilfred Mott, and was it Tom in the Dalek movies?
Tom, yeah.
Has sadly passed away at 93.
Yes. So,
but very sad, and
it is. Yeah, it is.
I don't think I hit it. That when I found out, I don't think I quite processed it, and then there was one night later, or it was like later that day at night or something, and I just started watching a bunch of clips of him on Twitter as a person and as the scenes in Doctor Who, and I got very moved by it, and the world is a slightly less brighter place without him there.
No, it is. And I think, actually, one of the most lovely things, though, is that literally like a week before he passed, we got to go see him at the movies.
Yeah. So the great little tribute.
In the Peter Cushing movies. So, that was pretty amazing that we got to see it in the theater, So, yeah. It's, it's so sad. And, you mentioned this in the group chat that, like, his role in the 60th, will be, it'll be, I can't really find the words, but it'll be hard to watch,
it'll be a bit special.
Yeah, special, yeah.
And I do wonder, and I don't want to go into this because it's, time and place. I wonder if perhaps we've seen they've been like reshooting some stuff possibly for the 60th with Rach and stuff. And part of me wonders if maybe they didn't get everything. And they knew he was sick, and they were like, "Oh, if there's a chance, we can get it later on or something." And obviously that wasn't the case. But look, there's that's a small thing. Another very sad thing is David Warner sadly passed as well, who most Who fans would know either from his role in Cold War, which I always loved. I thought that was a very lovely. I always thought he was a lovely character, the way he is with Clara in it, and he's like. He got me into Ultravox. Vox?
Okay.
Is it Vox or Box?
On the tapes he was listening to on the Walkman.
Yeah.
Are you singing "Hungry Like the Wolf"?
Sing a song. I was trying to sing Vienna.
Oh, okay.
But no, "Hungry Like the Wolf" is the main one.
Yes.
'Cause I'm hungry like the wolf.
Yes, classic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And you also may know him as his own incarnation of the Doctor in Big Finish.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, were you sad to hear of? Well, I'm sure you were.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's always hard to see stuff like this, and it's happening more and more. And man, I think life can get you down sometimes, and this shit doesn't help. But I think we always have these beautiful moments encapsulated in episodes and audio dramas and stuff, and yeah, that shit will always be there, and yeah, it's hard. Again, like we're saying about the 60th, it's going to be hard to watch him in it, but I was saying this to my parents because they asked me about it. I said, like, it will be it's so amazing. I'm so happy he even filmed a little bit for the 60th.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, especially how, like, you could tell that he probably wasn't feeling very well, and he still did it. It's very similar to what people said about, like, Chadwick Boseman when, like, even when he was filming, like, his movies, he was just not well.
Great. Yeah.
But I really appreciate that because he knew how much it meant to fans, and it really does mean. In fact, when my mum found out, she was like, "We need to chuck on Runaway Bride tonight." I'm like, "Well, he's not in it, but I like it. I like
the
your
way
spirit."
you're thinking. Yeah.
I'm like, "He's not in it though, but I like your spirit."
Yeah.
But
I wish there was more. No, I'm glad that we have what we have of Dr. Bernard, like Tandem Bernard in End of Time, where Bernard's kind of his companion. Is just amazing. Like, it would have been fun if there was like a bit more of that, but like just having that alone is great. And my favorite scene of all Doctor Who, I always say, is the scene with the Doctor and Wolf looking over at space in the End of Time, and
sat on the ship.
He's like, if you were my father, I'd be proud. And then he's trying to take the gun, and he's like, you're the most wonderful man alive. And I remember when we watched it for the podcast, it very much moved me. And yeah. Third piece of sad news, slightly less sad.
I don't know the third piece.
No, you don't, and you're not going to care very much either.
What?
David Mundy, Fremantle Docker.
He's leaving on Sunday?
No, that's JK. Okay. That's JK for the Eagles. Mundy's playing out the rest of the season. He said, they go, "What do you want out of your last season, Mundy?" And he goes, 6 wins, which is like 3 more in the main rounds and then the 3 final rounds. But yeah, so yeah, Mundy, he's like a life member of Freo, my AFL team. 19 seasons there. It's rare that a player will stick their whole time at one club. 19 seasons there. The guy's 37 playing AFL, which is incredible. And I was literally talking to him with this guy on set in like the morning, and then in the afternoon, this guy like sent me the photo of like the announcement saying he's retiring, and I was like, damn. So hopefully now my team Freo, who had a great start to the year and have kind of dwindled off the back half of the year, hopefully this is going to get our shit together and win us our first flag. Mundy deserves it after 19 years at the club.
They said, "What do you want, Mundy?" He said, "Smith and Capaldi to return for the 60th." Is that what he said?
I don't think he did. I think he said, "I'm proud of my family."
I think Fremantle's fucked it. I think they're done for.
Why? Don't talk shit about my club.
Hey, it's my club too, technically. Hey, you've got to support someone.
Right.
I don't watch much AFL. I'll make that very clear. But I watched this game on Friday night that Aidan was at. I was watching it at the pub, and they were just playing fucking horrendously. And I think it's like whenever I invest myself into something, I feel like I jinx the team.
I think it's because I was there.
You think it was because of you?
Well, because last season, the only game...
throwing like banana peels onto the pitch and stuff.
I think I might have gone to a derby last season, Freo Eagles, and then I went to a game... Literally could have been the exact same round last season. Like round 20, 19 or 20, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we were up against Geelong, and I remember being like... Freo hadn't done as well as they did this year, and they were borderline getting into the 8, and the top 8 are who go through to finals. And they were in like 9th or 10th, and so they needed this win against Geelong, who are a good team.
Yes.
And I remember like saying to my dad, like, if we get this, I reckon there's a chance we could like stay up, stay in the 8, we're going to do good. And then we got obliterated by Geelong on a wet, rainy day at Optus Stadium. And literally, although we're a bit higher in the ladder this season, we're going to definitely be playing finals. There's a lot riding on this game, especially mentally for them, because... Yeah, they've had a few rough games and they really could have done with a win. And wet, rainy day against Melbourne, and they fucked us, man. Like a 50-point loss. Like it was a rough day at the office for the old Fremantle Dockers. But hey, dear listener,
They could win.
You're not Australian. Well, some of you are,
According
but
to analytics,
say
only
like
50%
0.00001% of you are Australian.
Yes.
Who's got a loud beeping vehicle outside?
They're coming to pick up the rubbish at this hour.
Was that a joke?
I don't know, maybe. It sounds like a rubbish man.
All right, shall we begin? I'm not sure how many episodes we want to get through in part 1 of the podcast, but we have 13 episodes to get through in about 2 hours. So let's see how many we get through in part 1.
All right.
Going into season 2, though, overall.
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. Yep.
What did you expect? Not so much as a kid, more so now, after rewatching season 1 a few months ago. Going into season 2, what were you thinking?
I was hoping for a much better season and much more coherent. And I do recall, like we said before, that this season was a lot better and had a lot more hitters.
Yes.
So, as much as it was quite fucking daunting to watch 13 episodes in less than a week, I was like, hey, you know what? It might actually not be that bad. And I do recall watching a lot of these episodes. The funnest thing is like when rewatching them is like being like, oh, I remember watching these as a kid and remembering certain scenes and how I interpreted them as a young one. But that's how I went into it. What about you?
I went in, pretty hyped because I was aware that season 2 is definitely better than season 1. And I felt like, I don't know, like, obviously the Bowerman stuff is still like super fucking annoying and shit bloke. Yeah. But I also felt like enough time had kind of passed that I could kind of watch it a bit without every time he's on screen thinking about how much of a shit bloke he is.
Yes.
You know? And I think that definitely helped a bit. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
But then every time he'd like overact, I was like, there you go, John, you little shit.
Can I just say, last season you said that you found Jack's character to be like a massive dick and really annoying, and I didn't really I respected your opinion last season. I don't even know if I said this on the show, but I was like, I don't really see it. Like, I actually really do like his character. I fucking hated his character so much in this show, in the season 2.
Really?
I just thought he was a dick so much.
I thought that he
got better.
I thought he was better.
We switched.
I thought that he was in the background way more.
He was.
And that's why it was better.
He was quite a lot.
And then I felt like he overacted in the finale, but that's fine.
It's Torchwood so much. Like it. Dude, this show is so fucking
cheap,
corny, ridiculous. It is just
it's bananas.
It can be borderline bad sometimes.
It can be bad.
It can be bad.
There's no borderline about it.
Fuck.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, season 2, episode 1. Yes. Directed by Ashley Way and written by Chris Chibnall. Came out on the 16th of January, 2008. Did you enjoy watching this episode? We should say this is the episode where Captain John...
Yes.
Is it John Hart? Is that his name? Captain John Hart?
Something like that, yeah.
One of another time agent comes in. He
had a
goes
history with Jack.
Bananas with Jack. There's a cool scene in a pub.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it fucked, actually? Isn't there like something... Doesn't he force a bunch of... I can't remember. There was some dodgy, like, plotting that hasn't aged well.
Well, yeah, a lot of it hasn't aged well, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of sexual innuendos, and I think he, like, walks in and he's like, you stay, you don't stay, you don't stay.
You stay. I think that's it.
You stay, no, you don't stay. And then he just, like, gets his guns out. And But also, it's a continuation from the season 1 cliffhanger when he runs off to go to the Utopia.
Right, yes.
And that's why Jack's been missing and the crew's kind of just like doing their own thing. And they stay mad at him for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I kind of watched this episode a lot as a kid to the extent when rewatching it, I had like... I knew everything that was going to happen. There were some things I forgot, but also I was like... I really just didn't care for it. I thought that it was a pretty rushed opener and I...
Interesting.
But I think... I don't want to be too biased in this review because, like, just because I watched it a lot as a kid doesn't mean it isn't that good. And also, another thing I don't want to do is just because I rushed watching it, I don't want that to take over as, like...
that was my worry when you're, like, forcing yourself to watch it. I'm like,
Yeah, but I still feel like it's not the best. But I loved it as a kid. I thought it was so cool. I thought John Hart, or the fuck his name is, the other time agent, is awesome.
Yeah, he's a fun character.
The way it opens with a fucking blowfish driving a sports car, like
Bloody
high on
Torchwood.
cocaine. Yeah,
the
literally the
old
old
lady.
woman.
Yeah,
That's
bloody
fun.
Torchwood. Yeah, I think that's really fun. I thought I think the intro was great. I enjoyed the episode. I didn't think it was as amazing as I've only watched it once or twice. Most of the season, I think I've only watched once or twice. I think there's some in the middle that I might have bought on iTunes or something as a kid and watched.
Love it, iTunes.
But yeah, this episode I've seen once or twice before, and I remember thinking it was the bee's knees, and I watched it and I was like, yeah, that was really good, but it didn't knock my socks off or
Me
anything.
too. As a
And
kid, I really liked it.
not for any particular reason, like that. I didn't think it was amazing, but just like overall, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. It was Torchwood, you know.
In this episode, though, it sets up the most bizarre plot that I've never understood it, and I still understand it now. Where like this thing where suddenly Gwen and Jack have this will they won't they thing. It's bizarre.
Right. No, that was definitely there in season 1.
It's bizarre. Don't you think it's bizarre though?
I think it's
It's bizarre.
I think
didn't
it
like
gets more bizarre when she goes to kiss him in the wedding one. But that's a different story. But all of
God.
season 1 kind of has that will they won't they shit.
I know, but it'd been a while since I watched season 1, and it threw me off. And I hate how she's like. They just shit on Reese all the time. Reese is such a great character, and he's such a nice guy, and like
Excellent
She's
character.
like, well, no one else would take me. I'm like, fuck you.
Fuck you.
That's not true. Like, get out of here. Literally, you were shagging Owen like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, get out of here. Like, it's just too horny sometimes.
Torchwood. This is definitely overall as a season a much less horny season though,
God.
and a much less like cringy dark season and more naturally dark.
There's
with the
no
themes it
sex
addresses.
monster, so, you know.
That's a plus. I enjoyed the continuation of the theme of death, which will come up in
Correct.
future episodes of the season. I
Correct.
always thought that was a very strong part of season 1. There's this obviously it makes sense with Jack being an immortal character to make one of the main themes of the show death.
Yeah, that does come back, and and also they introduce, well, they don't introduce, but they give the first mention of Grey, which you later find out is Jack's long lost brother.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I called him Adam before, but Adam is the character.
Adam is
That's
from the episode.
is in the one all about.
In the
his
one
brother.
all about. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so that was interesting. When we get to episode 5, they do address it, and then it gets obviously at the end of the season it comes back. So look, they set out some cool stuff. Obviously, Chibnall was right in the last 3, so
And the first.
And the first. And so, yeah, obviously he was setting up stuff to, you know, come back in the final. And yeah, I thought it was just fine.
Yeah. So out of 10, Connor.
Yes.
And you cannot look at my sheet because I have all my ratings and it will spoil things for you.
Okay.
But out of 10 for me, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang gets a 7.5. Where do you lie with that?
I'm giving it a 6 because I
Okay.
think it was fine. Loved it as a kid.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's why, I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much, because like I felt it as a kid and I watched it so much as a kid that it doesn't have that kind of like nostalgia aspect for me. But
Sure.
still not terrible. Like you said, far from terrible.
I think Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was one of... Yeah, I watched it a bit ago and I wrote my score for it a bit ago, whereas I think the last 9 episodes, I wrote all of it for today. So
Yeah.
And looking back, maybe 7.5 is a bit generous for it, but look, that's what I wrote,
Hey, if
so
you
I'm going to
enjoyed
stick
it,
with that.
that's fine. You know?
I did enjoy it, yeah. So episode 2 is
Sleeper.
called Sleeper.
Yes.
Now, this bad boy is written by James Moran, who's a Doctor Who writer, I believe, and directed by Colin T, who is also a
it's
Doctor
Colin.
Who
Yeah, I saw his name
director.
come up quite a bit.
So, Doctor Who writer-director combo here. So, yeah, this
All the
is...
sleeper agents and stuff.
Yeah, there's a sleeper agent, an alien sleeper cell with false memories attacks strategic targets in Cardiff to prepare the Earth for invasion. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll be honest.
Okay.
First half of this episode, I sat there and I was like, this is a bit dull.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it? Like, they're just trying to figure out what's wrong with this chick and her arm's going a bit funky and stuff like that. And then about 25 minutes in, this episode turns the fuck up. And it all of a sudden it becomes fucking great. And like the action's great, the intensity of it all is fantastic. You know, it suddenly feels like out of nowhere, it's like, bang, this is a really big thing that Torchwood's having to deal with. And then to top it off, and the reason why when we get to scores for this episode, I'm giving it a really high score is because it really moved me in the end of the episode. And I really thought, like, even though the first 20 minutes were a little bit drab, I just thought, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed the last 30. And it was, it was a great episode in my books. What about you?
Yeah, so I think it's a fucking great idea for an episode. I really think it's really inventive and cool. The whole idea of like they randomly have picked humans to be like sleeper agents, and whenever they're ready, they'll be ready to attack.
Yep.
And they get those fucking huge ass like.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Things
It's a
coming
little
around.
bit silly, but
Oh
yeah.
my god. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it like, you know, it dragged for like 20 minutes and I wasn't really invested. And then like it became fun, silly Torchwood with so much blood, and it's just gory. And you know what? I actually did really enjoy it, and I think you're right. It kind of like ends in a climax where, like, you know, the main sleeper agent would rather, you know, sacrifice herself rather than become a monster. And I think there was some really cool parallels there, and they had some really cool, interesting stuff with her partner as well. The idea that, like, you know, the memories and stuff was just like would just one day go away, and I think that was a really cool. I just kept thinking it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And then you're right with the ending. I think it really did get you near the end there. But you're right. There was this like 20-minute slot where it was just like the sleeper agent the woman didn't know that she was a sleeper agent, and it was just like
why
you
is
kinda,
her skin so hard? I don't
yeah,
know.
you're kind of going in circles a little bit with like dialogue, and you do feel like it's kind of going nowhere. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's pretty like dark though. Some stuff like there's like a girl who lets go of a pram at one point. And
yeah,
gets,
literally,
like,
and you hear a
hit
car
by a
come.
car and like there's a lot of it was a pretty grim episode, but didn't feel like forcefully grim like a lot of season 1 felt. Like maybe we could have done without the pram shot, but other than that, like I felt like along with the rest of the season, it was mature without being like, ooh,
Yeah,
we're mature. Like
Yes.
it was just kind of like we are
happened to
mature.
almost prove itself to not be Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah,
It kind of felt like
I
season
it.
1 they did that, and so season 2 they
Yeah.
didn't have to do that anymore.
I like it. I don't think I loved it as much as you, but I liked
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving this a big bad boy score.
Yeah, what are you gonna give it?
This is definitely overhyped. But,
Okay. Oh my
8.5.
Oh my fuck!
I genuinely like finished the
You're
episode.
kidding me.
I finished the episode and I was like, that was great. Like that was excellent.
Fuck, I'm giving it 6.5.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So that's literally
I feel like
just
our
0.5.
feelings towards this season are gonna be.
I was
very
quite
different.
harsh last time as well. I don't know if you remember my scores.
Yeah,
for
looking at
Torchwood.
you. Yeah, so both of us. So you gave your overall average of your ratings for series 1 was 5.85 and mine was 5.77. So we were pretty harsh.
Yeah, pretty harsh. I want to preface that, like, I think overall the show is, like, you know, like we just said before, really cheesy and bad, but I love the idea of Torchwood. I think it's such a great concept. I love it. I love it so much. And I really hope that Russell does something similar. So, although it might seem like I'm being harsh, I still really enjoyed... I love the show as a whole. I think it's such a great concept.
Yeah.
Really good.
Cool. To the Last Man.
Okay, here we go.
Directed by Andy Goddard and written by Helen Rayner, another Doctor Who duo.
So Helen did she did the Dalek 2-parter in season 3, and she did the Sontaran strategy.
Yeah, I was going to say the Sontaran one. So yeah, she did both, I think. Yeah. So this is the one where Tosh has a boyfriend that they wake up every year or every couple of years?
Every year, I think it's every year. Yeah,
Yeah, for a
every
day.
12 months.
And she likes him, but then they have to return him back to, I was going to say the prehistoric times.
Prehistoric
to the World War One times,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And it's got quite a moving episode. It's a good episode for Tosh, who gets very much played in the background a lot of her entire time on the show. And I thought this was good. I think there was some great spooky moments in the first sort of act, the first 2 acts or so. But then I sort of watched this episode, and I only put my rating in from this episode onwards, I think, is when I put my ratings in today. And I watched it about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And I definitely remember really enjoying it at the time, being like, that was great. But now, like, having just finished the whole season, I'm kind of like, oh, what? I don't really remember a lot about it. So maybe that's a bit telling. How do you feel?
I think it's similar to how I felt about Sleeper, but I'm like, this is a really good concept, like a really cool idea. And when I started hitting season 2, I was like, you know, their ideas are really, really good. Like, I really think they've come in with some really cool, fresh ideas. And even reading the synopsis when it was like, they have to like wake up this person in 12 months, but they don't know when they actually need him. I was like, oh, I remember this episode. That's a really sick, cool idea. Which it was reading synopsises like this that made me, as like a late teen, finally get the balls to watch Torchwood again, because they had scared me so much as a kid.
Right.
It was reading all these like synopsises, especially from season 2, that really made me want to go and watch the show again from season 1 to 4. But I think it gets lost in the concept a little bit and gets a bit too convoluted. I did like how you get to see like an OG Torchwood, which was fun. Like they're the people who are like waking him up in the hospital bed. They're like, we're Torchwood.
Which you get a lot of OG Torchwood in this season,
and
which is really good.
You get heaps of it, which is something that you didn't see like in the first season, to my recollection.
I feel like this season tried to make sense of the Torchwood continuity, because like even me, like only watching the finale or like the second last episode of the season was the only time where I was like, oh, that's how Torchwood works. Because for a while I was like, oh, so Torchwood was like kind of a small undercover group that Jack became a part of, and then I was like, wait, how does Doctor Who Torchwood, like series 2 Torchwood, come into this? Like, and then in the second last episode of this season, Jack's like, Torchwood Cardiff and Torchwood London are completely different things. And I was like, all right, that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, they do some stuff like that in this season, and I appreciate it. And yeah, and the whole Torchwood thing was really cool. And yeah, it was nice to get some stuff with like Tosh and stuff, like a character that does get kind of thrown in the background.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I really like how they were clearly filming in some really fun, like abandoned places, which I thought was really fun. And there were some spooky stuff, because I watched this episode like by myself quite late at night with all the lights off, and I didn't really think about it much. And I'm like, all right, it's a bit fucking
Gwen exploring the abandoned hotel was quite spooky.
Yeah, when the guy like one leg is like on the crutches, it is quite spooky.
Very spooky.
That being said, I found it too convoluted to really care about, and I'm sorry, I didn't really feel that connected to the story. I was kind of hoping for it to be over, because I always remember loving the next episode a lot more. Yep. So I was kind of hoping for it just to be over.
Yep.
Sadly, I didn't love it that much, but I think Tosh is a great character, and anything that she gets to do, I think, is interesting. I think.
Yeah, it was great watching her play pool at the pub with him.
Fun.
It was great. Good fun. Fun!
A really good scene was when he looked at the TV and he saw like the Afghan war, and he was like, so it never really ends.
That's almost like
that
Stephen
was really
Moffat.
Good.
Stephen Moffat stole that for Twice Upon a Time, and when he's like,
what
World
do you
War
mean?
One, and he's like, what do you mean
one? Yeah.
Which is both are very equally moving.
It is very moving. It is very moving.
To the Last Man, out of 10.
I am gonna give episode 3 a 6.
6, okay. We're a little closer on this one. I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay.
But automatically, straight off the bat, 3 episodes in, I'm enjoying this season a lot more than you are.
It seems it.
Let's see how...
If
we're on par with Meat.
Let's go.
It loves a bit of Meat, which is directed by Colin Teague again.
He's back.
And written by Catherine Tregenana from memory. Sorry,
yeah, she rings a bell.
I think she wrote some series 1 Torchwood, I reckon.
I swear she was a Doctor Who writer.
Yes, she did. She wrote Captain Jack Harkness, so the second last episode of series 1, and Out of Time, not to be confused with Josh Nair's wonderful animation.
Big Finish, yeah.
She
didn't write any Doctor Who. I swear she wrote some Doctor Who.
I don't think she has. Oh, I can have a look.
I think aren't there like 2 female writers? And I think
so
she
limited,
might be the second one. I might be completely...
Doesn't
she write Women Who Lied or something? The Woman Who Lives?
Yes, it was confirmed that she'll be writing an episode of the 9th series of Doctor Who, The Woman Who Lived. There you go. Wow.
That's why
You're good, mate.
That's because Jack gets a mention at the end of the episode.
So she's out there trying to link.
And I believe that was the first mention of him at all.
In years, yeah.
In fucking years.
Yeah, since
by name. Like, obviously they do the whole thing, they did the whole, Vortex Manipulator from the 50th saying, he's good off a strapping young time agent. But the first time they mentioned him in years. So, yeah.
Meat. This is the episode where it starts with Reese.
Yeah.
He's driving his lorry, he's singing the song.
Hey, did you listen to that?
On the phone to someone.
Yeah.
And a truck from the company that he works for has been hit by a car, and it turns out it had a bunch of meat in it from an alien, a massive blob of alien meat.
Yes.
A living creature that they're dissecting. A lot of parallels to the Beast Below in this episode.
Correct.
And big thing for me that I thought going into this episode was I was very excited for it, because as a kid I recalled this is one of them moments in TV when filmmaking clicked for me, and it's a dumb moment because the CGI is shit.
Right.
But I remember, like, as a kid, I was sat and me, mum and dad, I think we just watched the episode, and then I think Torchwood Declassified, is that what the confidential is called? I think.
Declassified, correct. Yeah.
Came on for it, and I was sat there and there's like a green screen there, and I was like, oh, mum, dad, that's how they do the Alien. They use the green screen. They do this kind of thing. And I remember mum and dad, like, it was a moment that kind of clicked for them when they were like, oh, he knows like quite a bit about how this production stuff works, and maybe he'll have a future in that kind of thing. Like, I remember
maybe the episode Meat set Aidan onto his path of
filmmaking. That was a definite moment. I just really remember it's quite a fond moment of my upbringing. So I was excited going into the episode.
And? Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
I enjoy it. It's there's nothing to write home about it, but it's very enjoyable. Some great character moments, very tense in the back act, and the emotions are there, even though it's like this PS2 CGI creature,
it looks terrible.
And Owen's like pumping stuff into it. It looks horrific.
Oh, yeah.
And like when Jack's touching it, it doesn't even look like he's touching it. It looks like he's like 10 meters away from it. Like
it does. It really does.
And you can see like the green outline around him and everything. But like, look, it's just one of those things where the performances, the direction, everything was that good that bad effects really doesn't matter. Everything else is so good. They get away with it.
I love a good Reese episode too, and this is when he finally finds out about,
of course,
Gwen's involvement with Torchwood. And there's a really good scene in their apartment where they're just like yelling at each other. And and I think I think his name's Kai Owen who plays Reese. I think he's so good in that scene. Like you really believe that he's someone in a relationship where he feels like he's not being treated properly.
Yeah.
And I think he nailed that scene. And it's so cool that, and from this episode onwards, he like knows about Torchwood, and he has quite a bit to do later on. But I found this episode really really good, like intriguing, kept you on your feet. It was the harsh nature of humanity and the extent people would go to make a buck.
Yep.
And
quick buck.
They found this creature and decided to profit off it, and the fact that it was growing, that like it was like an endless supply of like money. And I found that really quite shocking. I'm going to mention this once because I don't like to be a preachy twat, but
amen, sister. What are you going to say?
I obviously am vegetarian, so I found the episode quite I found it quite revealing about the realistic nature of it. I'm not preaching. If you want to eat meat, that is your choice. But I found it quite found it quite revealing to the extent as to why I personally made that choice.
It's got something to say for sure, which
definitely
I think
I think it's definitely got something to say. And apart from the fact that it is like a massive CGI like creature, it is very sad.
It is very sad.
It is very sad. And I think it really hits those notes properly. There's a really cool bit where like the Torchwood team thinks Reese is a part of it because he like owns the company that ships it, and also he rocks up to the place and he's trying to get into the business to find out what's going on, but then now also gets Torchwood in, and at first they think that he's working with them, and and there's a great scene where he like goes down to the Torchwood hub, and I think this episode, the next episode, like was like a really strong point for the season, and I really fucked with it. Even to the last scene where Jax like gives Gwen the like amnesia pill and was like, okay, it's time to do it for the race, and she decides not to do it, and I love that scene. She comes in, she's like, no, fuck you, like I'm the only one who's got a relationship, you don't know what it's like. He's staying known about us, like he's gonna keep his memories, and I really liked it.
I think this season the Gwen Reese relationship was much better than season 1, because in season 1 it's so like Reese just gets shafted the whole season, whereas in this one it's like, Gwen's not perfect, but she's like working on it, which I think was,
and the engagement
it showed that she did love him this season.
Definitely. I agree, and I think the engagement being a part of the show up to episode 9 when the actual wedding happens, like you hear about the engagement quite a bit, and I like that. The season I think also had like, it did have some cool like overarching plots.
Definitely,
with everything that was going on.
Yeah, because obviously you got the Captain John Hart or
Captain
whatever.
John and all that.
His brother.
Yeah.
Owen dying.
All the stuff with Owen.
Yeah.
Even little stuff like with the like they always talk about like when they talk about the pool date with like Tosh and Owen, like that gets brought up quite a lot.
Yep.
And I really like that. But yeah, this episode I really fucking liked.
Cool. Yeah. Out of 10,
I gave episode 4 an 8. It's episode 4, right?
Yep.
8.
Yes, I also gave it an 8. So on the same page with that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, good episode.
I love it.
Adam!
Not
to be confused with the dinosaur in Jurassic Park 3 that says, Alan!
Does he?
You remember in Jurassic Park 3, there's...
Of course.
They're on the plane, and Dr. Alan Grant wakes up to see a Velociraptor in a hat going, Alan!
I must be tired because I thought you said
Alan!
Ice Age.
Ice Age.
I know. Ice Age 3 is Dawn of the Dinosaurs, so I thought you said that.
I remember that one.
That is... How the fuck did I take that from Jurassic Park?
What's the difference?
Yeah, literally. They're all shit. I love it.
Oh, dear. Adam, directed by Andy Goddard and written once again by Catherine Tregenna.
Let's go.
Come out on the 13th of February 2008. Basically, 13th February 2008. Basically a Valentine's Day episode, right?
Very romantic.
Very, very romantic.
There is a 1-year anniversary in it. It is fake, but there is an anniversary in it.
We learn a lot about the history of Jack, which I think is always interesting to explore. And it's, I don't know, a bit weird, all the history stuff. Like
it is.
I don't know. It's not what I expected.
Go back to your mother.
Yeah.
It's so much American.
Yeah.
Go back to your mother.
Go back to your mother.
Hey.
The creatures are here to torture us.
You can't play ball with us. Give it back. That's so dumb.
And they just like keep reusing the same shots the whole episode. There's a shot of him like hiding behind a tree and he like runs up to this tree and hides behind it and they use it like 4 or 5 times.
It doesn't make any sense. He's like, if you're running and you're holding your loved one's hand, it's like, let go of his hand. By the time the cunt literally runs like 10 meters and then goes on the tree. He's like, it was only then I realized I'd let go of his hand. I'm like, you couldn't feel him holding your hand like this?
I also love
so dumb.
The CGI budget definitely apparently could not afford these creatures, which is probably for the best.
You just hear
which it's so weird because it's like these creatures torture, they're smart, and it's like I'm just picturing pterodactyls.
I'm picturing a pterodactyl.
Yeah, like it's weird, man. You'd think they'd do like an alien invasion, like some Daleks or some like soldiers of some sort. Like it was some weird choices. This is the episode as well where this guy Adam, who the episode starts and he's been working for Torchwood for years, and everyone knows him except Gwen, who's like, no, this ain't right. And so he's going around changing everyone's feelings. And I think there was some really great stuff because you got some great stuff between Tosh and Owen that episode, right? This is
so good.
Owen's like dweeby and Tosh.
They
like
reverse roles.
Bitch.
They reverse roles because like he becomes like the kind of like nerd, and she becomes the outgoing, like sexy. I'm ready to be with everybody, and that
was great to see.
Yeah,
it was great to see how like. So Gwen forgets Owen, so Owen gets involved in the Torchwood stuff again, and
the race.
I always call him Owen.
Yeah, Owen forgets Reese. Yeah.
Reese.
Gwen forgets Reese. Gwen forgets Reese. Yeah, and you're right because he definitely got a big part to play in Me. That it made sense that he would be a part of this episode, and I really dug that. Their whole thing was so cool.
Yeah,
really great.
Yeah, that definite highlight. Because I think for me the episode struggles a bit because the Adam guy is so smug. And his face and his hair is so.
I think that's the point.
I know.
I think that's the point.
But I'm just watching like, you're just annoying.
Yeah,
it's like Professor Umbridge in Harry Potter.
Right.
Like you're watching it and I'm like, you're so perfect casting. You're such a cow.
You smug prick.
Yeah. Like, and it just, I was irked by a lot of the episode because of that.
I did love that scene where like Gwen goes back to her house and then like Reese like walks up to her in like a dressing gown and is like, "Hi baby," and she's like, "What the fuck?" And like I love how because I watched Me and Adam with my girlfriend Kim because I had Monday off work, so I was just at her house. I'm like, I need to watch this because I won't finish it, so I'm gonna put it on. And I said to her, I was like, "Wouldn't there be photos in the house?" And then the next line was like. And he's gone and printed out photos of us. And Reese's like, for God's sake, are you insane? Yeah, I love that. And like even down to the scene where like Jack gets like records him saying like how they met and stuff, and the scene in the shop where like he has like his rant and it makes Gwen laugh and she starts crying because she's starting to remember him is really good stuff. And I loved the whole Owen and Tosh thing was great, even to the extent where like he told her that like he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think acting wise, I think that they reversed the roles so well.
They did do a really good job.
It worked really good, and almost sad because the roles are reversed, even down to at the end when like the flowers are from Owen and Tosh is like from Owen. He's like, I don't do flowers, but self-consciously like he did do it.
Yeah.
And you actually do in the second last episode find out why Owen is quite a twat, which I forgot all about. But like I think it worked. It worked so well. It was a really, again, what a great idea.
Yeah.
It was a really, and the fact he'd only been there for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Or 3 days or something like that was really interesting.
I think Anto gets a bit to do as well. They try and add like a bit of him being like a lady killer or something on the streets.
Yeah.
I do think Yanto gets shafted a lot of this season. He's not in a lot of it. There were some episodes where I was like, did he even have a line? Like, I feel bad for, is it Gareth David Lloyd? Is that the actor's name? I feel bad because I feel like sometimes he'd just spend days on set and he'd just be like, just reacting to stuff and not having a line. He'd just be there like,
it's interesting because obviously he's the only one of like the cast apart from the main two, which is Gwen and Jack, who survives, and he has quite a lot to do for a bit. Yeah. He has quite a lot to do in Children of Earth, but like, yeah, it is interesting. And yeah, it was dark with the whole lady killer thing. And like, yeah, it was, one of my favorite scenes as well, when like the episode finishes, like, it's like, Yanto, who's Adam? And he's like, no idea. And like, it was creepy, and I liked it a lot. The sand came out, and
very cool.
Apart from those cringy ass scenes, I didn't really like Jack's whole past thing in the season. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really like it.
I don't mind. I appreciate what they were doing, but I think some of it came off a bit corny. And yeah, I think John Barrowman
go back to your mother now.
I think Barrowman has a tendency to overact a bit in these big emotional scenes. It's, for me quite obvious. But
it was like when I rewatched after seeing bits and pieces of Torchwood and watching it for the first time as like in my like late teens, I was like, I'm so interested to see Jack's backstory, and I think I liked it then, but because I'm like I was dying to find out more stuff, but then like knowing, and then like now knowing, and like I can just tell it's a bunch of like British actors putting on like, you need to go now.
Yeah.
Hey, you can play bar with us. No, you need to go away. It's like so cringy, and I couldn't deal with it. But
out of 10, Adam.
Out of 10.
Adam.
Episode 5, I give an 8 out of 10.
Out of 10.
I told you these 2 episodes I really fucked with.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5.
Ka-chow.
I think I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it dwindled in my memory, I think. Yeah, okay, so we're at a point. This is about where we called the end of part 1 last season.
Okay.
Could it be a decent point? We're about I'm going to have to start the recording soon anyway.
That's right, I need to go to the toilet, so that's good.
So this is...
it's good seeing you.
It's good seeing you. See you next week. See you later, folks.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, so like we said, this is part 1 of a 2-part Torchwood special, but focused on season 2. Part 2, which will have episodes 6 to 13, as well as an overall recap, will be available Thursday. This is Monday, the day this is coming out.
2 days.
This Thursday, it's going to be part 2. And that's going to be fun. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep the bevs. I'm on the gin again today.
Yeah, the old gin o'clock, right?
Gin o'clock, mate. Yeah. The only other time I drank this was the time I had the traumatic experience at the Bottle-O.
Okay. So you went back, even though you had that traumatic experience. I love it.
I actually was like buying them, and I was like,
I better not.
My hand's shaking. I'm like,
Get out your own day rewards card before you go.
I was too scared to. I actually didn't use it.
It fucked you. You're just like, I can't do it anymore.
I'm not doing this again. The guy in the shop didn't even talk to me.
Like, did he know you?
No, it's just like some different guy, tats all over his face and stuff, and He just like didn't even look at me, and I was
I
like,
hate people like that.
yeah.
I had to say in the pharmacy, I was like, I just want to pick up my prescription, just took it and walked off. And I was like, bro, you didn't even say hello. Like, give me a break here.
let me tell you, in my 7 years working at my lovely fast food job,
You said hello to everybody.
I was always
Yeah, me
the
too.
smile. I've recently, someone that was a customer has started working for a company that I work with quite regularly. And she
Okay.
recognized me and she said nothing but lovely things. And I was like, you know what? You're the reason that you're one of the people that got me through my times at that good old burger joint, you know?
Yeah, you got
Great
to be
customer.
kind. You just got to be nice.
To quote Peter Capaldi, just
Be kind.
kind.
Be
Guys, thank you very much for listening or watching. You can watch the
love ya.
footage over on the YouTube channel. Connor's already gone for a piss.
Are we doing
Just
the outro?
go.
we're
I can
gonna-
play the Torchwood one if you like.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, Connor, go urinate.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'll do all the
See you
mundane,
Thursday.
boring stuff. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, and you can subscribe to the podcast over on the YouTube channel, the 50% Doctor Who Podcast YouTube channel, where we post clips every single week, breaking down the episode into small, digestible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little minute parts. But yes, thank you so very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week. Well, later this week. God, I'm rambling. Someone shut me off. Someone shut me up. It's time for the Torchwood theme. Bye-bye, folks.
50 50 50 50 50 50 50 50 50
Torchwood, Torchwood, Torchwood.